Hi there, and you're very welcome to our Student Spotlight. Today we're speaking to Niyuktha, who is a second year accounting and finance student in the university. Hi there.
Hi Judith, how are you?
I'm very well today. And tell me about your current life as a second year student at the end of semester one. You're about to face into exams, I think.
Yes, so my exams will start on Saturday. So I have management accounting first. But yeah, so I'm Niyuktha, as Judith said, and I am a second year student here at Maynooth studying BA Accounting and Finance course. It is, it's a course that I've always wanted to study. So I really enjoy doing it, but obviously, loving it is one bit, but there's a lot of material that you study as well. But it's enjoyable and so far manageable.
Did you study accounting for your Leaving Cert?
Yeah, so I did study it for Leaving Cert and I did Junior Cert Business as well. So initially, I never wanted to do Junior Cert Business. It's a very funny story because when we had to do our options for school in first year, I remember I wanted to do music. Not that I was, musically talented or anything, but I just loved music and I wanted to do music. But then my mother was like, "Don't do music, do a business instead." And I eventually listened and I took business and I loved it. I very, very much loved it. I always loved going to class. I had a wonderful teacher. It was great, and I've never been more thankful because I never thought, I will study accounting in college, but
here you are.
That's where here I am. That's where it all started.
So are you interested in music outside of college then? Do you get to join any societies or that kind of thing?
No, I don't do music outside school or college or anything, but I do dance. So I've been training for Indian classical dancing for years now. So
wonderful.
7 years at this point.
Okay. Do you think somebody who is a student in their Leaving Cert or somebody who's considering the degree would need to have studied accounting or business before coming in?
Honestly, I don't think so. But having said that, if you haven't done business or Leaving Cert accounting, I don't think you should worry about doing accounting and finance course in the university, because here at Maynooth anyway, they teach you the basics in first year. So the basics like debits and credits and all the very, very basic stuff, they will cover it. They did when I was in first year anyway. For me, because I have done business and accounting before, I was able to obviously understand it better because I've done it before. For me, it was more or less revision of what I've studied before. But for new people, I had a friend who did accounting for the first time in college and she found it fine. So I wouldn't worry about not having it studied before, because really you will be able to pick up the basics very, very fast.
So in first year, what did you study when you came into the university? What were the subjects? Is it all required or do you have any options?
In the first semester anyway, they were all compulsory. So all modules I did, I didn't have a choice. They were all mandatory and I had to do them. So in first semester, I had a module of accounting, a module of economics, a module for maths. It was calculus. And then I had a module called critical skills. So it's like a professional skill development class. So you do academic essays, you do a bit of research, you get to do oral presentations, that sort of things. And then in second semester, there was a choice between taking maths modules and critical skills. I took critical skills modules.
Okay, that's a good testament, isn't it, to the critical skills, as it's a good subject for maybe helping in the transition from second level learning to third level learning.
Yeah. I mean, like critical skills first semester was writing academic, so it was more or less focused on writing and research essays. So you were given a topic and then you had to do an essay related to that topic. So for us, when we did it, for my class anyway, our topic was austerity. and we had to do an essay based on that, and then an oral presentation based on that. And for that for critical skills module anyway, the assessments were all continuous assessments, so there wasn't a final exam at the end. So whereas the other modules all had continuous assessments and a big final exam at the end of semester, for critical skills that wasn't the case. It was just everything was during the semester, so you had no big exam at the end really.
Yeah, and that's a help, of course, isn't it, in terms of the workload?
Yeah, it's one less exam at the end of the semester.
You're from Dublin, so you have a number of universities and colleges on your doorstep. So what was it about Maynooth and the course that made you decide to come here?
Maynooth, obviously, I had been to Maynooth actually in 4th year, and I had loved the place because it was really beautiful. 2 campuses. Obviously, when I realized when you come in, you have to run between the 2 campuses to get to lectures. But it was a beautiful university, and not only that, the real reason, or the main reason for me, was that the course I'm doing right now in Maynooth, they offer a whole year for either to go abroad and study a year abroad, or you can do a placement either abroad or in Dublin, or in Ireland. So really, for me, that was important because I wanted that 1 year to either go abroad or do a placement, and you have a good amount of time to decide which one you want to do. Obviously, we never thought, there would be a pandemic or anything, but even with that, there is option. That option is still there for you. If you want to go, you can go, or if you want to do placement, you can apply for placements. But that option of that year was really important to me because I wanted that. When I was looking at different courses and different obviously different universities while researching, I made sure that, do they have an option of going abroad, or do they have an option of placements, because it gives you a different learning experience. So like if you go abroad, you get to experience different cultures, you get a different learning experience overall, whereas if you get a placement, you will be able to get a bit of insight into what the real working life is like, because that is what ultimately you're going to do at the end of the day.
So that begs the question, what do you think you would opt for between the work placement and the study abroad?
For me right now, I have chosen placements, so I hopefully I have applied for placements, but I initially thought of going abroad, but with the current situation, going abroad doesn't seem that, for me at least, it doesn't seem, because of the uncertainties, I feel like
just
it might be easier to, not easier, it might be better to do placement as well as at the moment. But
so will the department help you to secure a placement, or how does that work?
So we do it with the placement office, and we have for our course anyway, there's a lecturer who's the accounting coordinator, so he's also working with us so we have to have our CVs. It's a specific kind of CV, and then we sometimes the placement office sends the CV for us, sometimes we apply it directly ourselves. And it works that way. So we do it along with placement office, not just on your own, but you do it along with placement office. So they will let you know when the companies are open for, when the company has posted their opportunities, and then we apply, or we apply ourselves on their websites, or we apply through the placement office, where we send our CVs to the placement office and then they forward it to the companies. So it works. We work along with the placement office.
So there's an accounting showcase as well, isn't there, later on in the degree? Can you talk to us about that? Or
that happened. I know there was one at the beginning of the semester. So it was where different companies. There's all the big fours are there, also other companies, and this year was online, but last year I remember it was in like the actual representatives from the companies are there, and they talk about their undergraduate programs, they talk about their graduate programs, and they talk about what, they might have trainees there to talk about their experience. So for example, if you're looking for a graduate program, they'll be talking to you about what life is like working with them, what they offer you, what you can offer them, how you can apply, all of that.
So that kind of helps you to plan then towards
so
when you do
it's
graduate.
usually open, I think, for second, I think it's open for everybody. There's no like, oh, you're a first year, you can't go. You can go and you can ask questions, but I think it's really important when you're in second year or in third year, definitely in third year you should go because you're looking for graduate placements at the time. But when you're in second year, if you're planning to do placements or you're undecided on whether you want to do your broader placement, going there, asking them questions really helps you to get a better understanding of what you want to do. So
So the undergraduate degree, the accounting and finance degree that you're taking, will lead to exemptions from the CAP 1 exams. Isn't that correct?
Yes, but it's subject to certain grades. So you have to have certain grades in certain modules in order to secure that exemptions. I'm not exactly 100% sure how many percentages they are, but you need to have a certain percentage secured in each module, some of the modules, some are all, I'm not too sure, but some of the modules anyway, to get that exemption.
Get the exemptions for sure, but that is part of the degree. So when you graduate, all going well, what do you think you would do? You're going to pursue a professional career as an accountant, I'm guessing. I could be wrong.
Right now, I'm thinking of hopefully after I graduate, I want to do masters. I haven't decided which subject or which course yet, whether it's accounting or finance or both. I haven't decided. I'm still thinking about it.
That's fair enough. You're halfway through your degree.
And then I hope to finish or do the ACA exams. So hopefully qualify as a chartered accountant at the end and then work.
All going well. Is there a particular module or indeed an assignment or anything that you have done over the past couple of years, or at least year and a half, that you have enjoyed? More than
all work, like I know for this year anyway, in second year it was all there wasn't any module that was outside, that it wasn't unrelated to this course specifically, because all of it was more this accounting modules, economic modules, finance modules, so it's all course course focused or course oriented. But last year we critical skills module, I actually really enjoyed that because I know in semester 2 we had this opportunity to do a white paper. It was obviously in the college based, but it was really interesting because we've never done it before, I don't think anyone in our class had done it then. And also we had to do a podcast based on our white paper, and it was really interesting because that's when the lockdown started, so we had to do all that remotely. We had to record our podcast remotely. We had to get all our white paper stuff organized online. We had to make sure it was completed on time. So it was very stressful because you have to have it all done and completed and uploaded. But it was really enjoyable because you've never done it before. And it was,
can you explain to the uninitiated what is a white paper?
So a white paper is a government document. So you will have there's a problem, and then you outline what the problem is, and then you provide solutions. So we did that. My team, we did it on the Irish education. I think we more focused on transport and then how we can ease the paths financially. So because we are in accounting and finance students, we focused how we can ease the path financially. It was an interesting it was an interesting topic, and it was a really, it was hard to like get all the information because you need to provide solutions. You need to provide specific problems. You need to get actual, it's not like you claim something and you can't just claim it. You have to provide evidences. So you have to say why that's a problem, where did you get it, and what are the proofs to show that it is a problem. And when you provide solutions, you have to show, did that solution work somewhere else, or do you think it will work, how it will work.
It sounds like something you should be paid a lot of money for, rather than something
it really is stressful. Course. It is.
But you learned a lot from it, though.
Yeah, so that researching and finding information, and obviously, you have to coordinate with other members as well, with your team members, because you can't all be doing the same thing. You all have to do, so if one person takes accommodation, one person takes transport, another person takes tuition. So, it all has to, like, everyone has to work together. And luckily I had a good team, great team. So we were able to communicate and do our work. And it was a really, really interesting learning process.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And you've been able to
recording the podcast as well was a different experience, because none of us had done it before, and we actually did it over Zoom, but it was an interesting experience, really.
How many are in your classes, or say in first year when you joined the university? What was it like when you walked into your first accounting or finance classes? Were there many in the group?
Yeah, so when I went to the lecture, it was a big lecture hall. So it was in John Hume lecture 1, the big lecture hall, and it was filled. So there was over like 300, I would say, there.
Probably more than that,
yeah, pretty intimidating, because a lot of strangers in front of you. When I first went in, I knew nobody, absolutely nobody, because my friends from school were going to different colleges and different universities. There were a couple of people who in my school were going to the college, but I didn't know they were going to the college. And when I went to Maynooth, I was like, oh, you're here too. But they were doing different courses. So yeah, so it was really intimidating when you first go in, and you feel like you're all alone. But the big thing to remember is that everyone is feeling the same, because nobody knows no one really, and you just have to muster the courage to ask, hi, what's your name? I am this person. Nice to meet you, and just create conversation. But then most of the modules had big classes, so over 200 students, but critical skills was broken down, so there was like 15 or 20, which was much, much smaller. But then you have tutorials where you have smaller groups of people. So
yeah, the tutorials is where you'll within your subject, then you'll have smaller classes.
Yeah.
And I've no doubt you made lots of friends pretty quickly as well. And then you mentioned that you're in the dance society. And
no, I'm not in the dance society.
Oh, you're not?
No, I don't. I haven't joined the dance society, but I do it outside college, so I do it in my own spare time.
But what, are you a member of any societies in Maynooth?
Yeah, so last year we formed, when I was in first year, we formed an Indian society, because when we went to university, we saw that there was a lot of Indian students, a lot of international Indian students as well. And we thought it would be an interesting idea to create an Indian society. So we started one. And last year I was the society's treasurer, and this year I'm society's secretary. So it's going well. We have over 40 members, I think, even remotely, which is very surprising. I was just telling my my committee the other day that it's great that we have over 40 members, and most of them attend the events that we ran during semester 1 as well, because and it was a great turnout. So I was like, even remotely, people people are engaging. So yeah.
So setting up a new society, that's not something every student does, because there's over 100 there already. So, but you found a gap in the market and you set up your,
Yeah.
and you need to have 30 members, was it?
No, we didn't need to have a certain amount of members. I think we there was paperwork that you had to do, because you have to, when you form a society, then you have to have society's bank. You need to have documents filled for the society, clubs and societies office as well. But you don't need, I don't think you need a certain amount of members. I don't remember, but last year we had, I think, over 30. This year we have around over 40, so we have loads more members this year. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're wrapping up now. Will you tell me words of advice that you have for somebody who's considering Maynooth and considering your course, or accounting and finance? Is there another way into the course if it is the case that you don't get the points? Because the points are over 400 this year, weren't they?
Yeah,
well, they were in 2019.
440, I think, over this year. But I would say to people who are looking into Maynooth or looking to do a course into general, please research the course that you want to do, because it is so important that you know what you're getting yourself into. Because you might have a change, you might be like, oh, I really want to do accounting and finance, this is what I want to do, and then you go in and then you realize that, oh, this is not what I expected, this is not, I don't think I'm going to enjoy this. So if there is I know for Maynooth's website, there's a page in Course Finder that will literally break down every year. So year 1, year 2, year 3, and it will provide you with the list of modules, and then you can click in and you can see what you learn. So you have a very, very good idea of what that course is, and then what to expect. I don't know if that is for every university, but if you have that opportunity to know, so if you know what you want to do, research the course really well so that you know what you're getting yourself into, because this is something you're going to do for 3 years or 4 years. So you want to be able to like the course, you want to be able to do it and enjoy it at the same time, not just do it because you got into it, but because you like it as well. So really, it's important that you research, use the resources available. So like email universities, contacts of ask a student, ask someone who does the course, or ask someone who did it before. Look at the employment and possibilities, all of that, because it is very important. And I would say don't stress, because I know leaving cert is important and we're living in uncertain times, but there will be other ways to get what you want. So do not stress too much, because stressing is not going to get anywhere. I did that for leaving cert and it wasn't a pleasant experience. So don't stress. It's easier said than done, but I would say do not stress, because stressing is not going to help at all. But you should always ask help if you need, if you want to ask about questions regarding the course. For Maynooth anyway, we have Ask a Student. But really mind yourself, because that's important.
You're dead right. There's lots of resources, lots of people to ask questions of, and there are alternative routes as well. And you can take accounting and finance and business in the arts degree, which often is a lot less in terms of the points that are required than some of those courses.
I know for Maynooth anyway, I had a friend who did the arts course in first year and transferred to the accounting and finance course in second year. But that is not that's not 100% guaranteed. Exactly. You need to have certain amount of grades in first year in order to transfer into this into accounting and finance course. So
it's a potential.
It is a possibility, and it is another way. So do not be disappointed when you get the results and you didn't get what you expected, because there is other ways that you can get into other courses. Really,
so well worth checking out.
Don't stress and just keep calm is what I would say, and really just do your work at the time. Just keep up the hard work, because it'll pay off in the end. It always will. So just take it easy.
Thanks very much for chatting to me
No
today. It was a real
problem.
pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Nick.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.